It looked like Baltimore's Ravens defensive coordinator is making a schematic plan to possibly see Shedeur if the Browns decide to put him in the game. This time it's dealing with the Baltimore Ravens, man. People talking about tickets dropping as low as to $6 now for a get-in price for this game. Now, I was going to make a separate video about it, but I'm proud of everybody in Browns Nation. Because you want to know why? Because people...
You won't believe what just dropped. Zach Orr didn't just hop online. He straight detonated it. And no, this time it wasn't because he tried cooking again. In this wild new interview, he goes all the way off on Shedeur Sanders. So hard it feels like NASA might file a report because the man launched into orbit. What could make Zach snap like that? Ego drama? A missing sandwich? Stick around because this mess gets unbelievable real fast. Another weekend in football rolls in, and once again, the Cleveland Browns are treating disaster like it's a championship sport. Ticket prices for the Ravens game have plunged to $6, basically the same cost as a questionable gas station hot dog that might send you to the doctor. Browns fans took one look at the price tag and said, "Nope, I'm good," choosing to watch the chaos unfold from home where the snacks are safer. Here's the wild part. Fans are finally speaking with their wallets. Not enough to win a Super Bowl, but definitely enough to push Jimmy Haslam into full panic mode, clutching a calculator in one hand and stress meds in the other. Nothing scares an NFL owner like hearing, "You're about to lose $20 million. Suddenly, the weather feels colder, the stadium looks emptier, and Kevin Stefanski's walking around with the same face as a co-worker.
Y'all doing all right? Already, man. It's good. Good to see y'all.
Zach, what do you like about Aaron Jones?
Shoot, man. He's a physical player. He plays hard. Love his versatility, man. I mean, he came in as an interior guy. I think that, his ability to really kick out on the edge and continue to hold his power and show his athleticism is a testament to his hard work. But I love his versatility, man, in the run game and the pass game. A guy who can play across the line of scrimmage for us. So I'm excited to see him Sunday. He's had a great couple days of practice.
Who just realized the company discovered the missing printer ink. People keep insisting he's not gonna play, and that's adorable. That's like saying gravity is taking the day off. If there's one thing that stays real in this world, it's money, and trust me, money doesn't just talk. Money sends all caps emails, starts conference calls nobody asked for, and pulls everyone into meetings they can't escape. Jimmy Haslam is not about to lose $20 million just so Kevin Stefanski can keep Dylan at quarterback out of pure stubborn vibes. The Browns may be struggling, but they're not throw away $20 million for pride struggling. But Kevin has planted his flag anyway. Dylan is his guy. No changes, no doubts, no blinking. Translation, he's going to act like he runs the show until somebody snatches that headset off his head at halftime like a parent taking a kid's tablet. Meanwhile, across the field, Ravens defensive coordinator Zach Orr is chilling with his coffee, zero stress, not even pretending to care about Kevin's dramatic speeches. Baltimore is preparing for Shedeur no matter what Kevin whispers to himself in the mirror every morning. Kevin keeps saying Dylan is starting, and Jimmy Haslam basically replies, "That's adorable." Meanwhile, the Ravens are like, "We don't care what anyone says. We're prepping for the quarterback who might actually shake the field."
Said Zach Orr, the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, ain't tripping off Kevin Stefanski because he know big business too. Really ain't up to him. You can say Dylan is finna play. You can say all these things, but at the end of the day, y'all want to know what's Jimmy Haslam. Jimmy Haslam. So they prepared for Shedeur regardless. It says Ravens defensive coordinator Zach Orr was asked if Baltimore is spending any time preparing for Shedeur Sanders.
That's called planning, something Cleveland might want to test out someday. Even ESPN Cleveland is confused, and trust me, when ESPN Cleveland is confused, the situation is officially sideways. They're looking around, wondering why the Browns drafted Shedeur, brought the spotlight circus, took on the pressure, soaked up the fan chaos, just to leave him sitting on the bench like a dusty air fryer nobody plugs in. It's like buying a Ferrari and using it to hold grocery bags. Classic Browns behavior. And of course, here comes the yearly Browns tradition. Losing games they should win and winning games they have absolutely no business touching. This year's example already happened. The Packers game. The Browns used up their miracle early, like a kid who tears through all the Christmas candy before breakfast. Yes, the Jets! The Browns losing to the Jets feels like losing a spelling bee to someone who doesn't even speak English. It just shouldn't be possible. And yet here we are again. Hope is gone. Energy is cooked. Fans are looking at this team the same way a parent looks at a kid who somehow set the microwave on fire trying to heat up cereal. Everybody in the fan base knows the real truth. There's only one path to winning another game this season: Shedeur. Not a backup plan, not some wild gamble, not a cute experiment. He's the only option left. One path, one door, one answer. But the Browns are treating this whole situation like a Netflix user who scrolls past every good movie just to rewatch a terrible show for the 6th time out of pure habit. Some analysts are still trying to sound logical, which is adorable. Dylan was drafted first, so yeah, he got the opening shot. That's fine. That's normal.
Zach Jackson and him and everybody else that we talked to have said that Shedeur looks good. He looks really good.
Yes.
He looks better. And we got Zach that say Dylan Gabriel ain't even an NFL quarterback.
That's true.
So how is it that this man can't get a rep with the ones, but that non-NFL quarterback can?
We all
what
agree
sense
with that.
does that make?
It makes no sense.
Clearly, the guys running the team disagree with us.
Man,
it doesn't make any
and they're
sense.
the ones.
What are y'all trying to? What is the goal?
But logic also says you drafted Shedeur for a reason. At some point, you got to find out whether he's a franchise quarterback or the most expensive clipboard holder in the league. And if the season is already burning down, you might as well check whether there's anything valuable left in the ashes. Shedeur's been grinding hard, a bold strategy, and bold strategies historically have not mixed well with Cleveland's chaos. Deep down, even Kevin knows what's coming, because once the season spirals far enough, once the pressure gets loud enough, once the stadium seats get empty enough to echo like a cave, there's no hiding anymore. A decision has to be made. Either let Shedeur play or watch someone else slide into your office chair. At that point, Mike Tomlin could walk into the building and call the plays, and no one in Cleveland would even notice because they'd be too busy refreshing the injury report like it's breaking news. Eventually, everything comes down to one wild question. What exactly is Shedeur right now? Is he the future, the present, the backup, the experiment, or is this team already browsing for their next quarterback like someone ordering takeout while dinner is literally still on the stove? The only way to find out is to actually play him.
People will say this too, like the Browns have historically rushed rookie quarterbacks onto the field before they're ready, ruin them. I mean, I know that's the whole thing. Like, what quarterback are we going to ruin next year and all this kind of stuff. The difference this year for me is that this season is gone. It's lost. And you already know that the first rookie you tried to put out there is clearly not it. And it's not even a matter of him not being ready. I just don't think he's capable, period. There's no amount of time, practice, experience that's going to suddenly make him capable. We need to see if Shedeur is, because we've got those 2 first-round picks next year.
Not watch him stand on the sideline, icing his hands for an entire NFL season like a prop in a commercial. But somehow, the Browns seem totally comfortable doing the strangest thing possible, risking fan loyalty, bleeding out ticket revenue, and testing the patience of an entire city. All to avoid playing the one guy with enough hype to actually shake the table. The Ravens are preparing for Shedeur with full focus. Meanwhile, the Browns are out here pretending they don't even know who he is. Guess which approach sounds like a winning strategy? Fans are watching this mess like a sitcom, a very expensive sitcom, a sitcom where nobody learns anything, the writers hate character growth, and every episode ends with a dramatic cliffhanger that never gets resolved. Browns Nation is exhausted. Browns Nation is traumatized. Browns Nation is spiritually allergic to hope. And right in the middle of this madness sits Shedeur.
In Cleveland, I know we go to them. They have to talk about.
Do you think Shedeur has a chance to play Sunday?
No. I can't figure out this. Why would you draft him and welcome in the circus, not even always his fault, that comes with him, only to not play him? Like, what? Only the Browns would do this.
Take the negatives
and none of the
Shedeur
positive.
and none of the positive.
Those are facts, man, and they damn sure making it their business not to play.
The most valuable unopened gift under the Christmas tree. The one everybody wants to see. the one everybody is waiting for, the one who could flip everything upside down. But instead, he's just sitting there while Kevin explains to the world that the plan is to keep losing with passion and consistency. At some point, someone has to ask the real question. What's the worst that could happen? The Browns lose? They already lose. The Browns score 10 points? They already score 10 points. The Browns get embarrassed? That's been the franchise identity for generations. Playing Shedeur isn't a risk. It's the only thing left that even counts as an upgrade. Jimmy Haslam is crunching numbers. Ticket revenue is drowning.
Defensive coordinator, his seat is hot right now. It was hot a little bit last year. They started the season real rough. He got it together at the end of the season. Zach Orr, former drafted linebacker, either my year or year after me. Very familiar with him as a player, now turned coach. But the defense got way too soft. Yes. Way too many zone coverages. Just allowing Josh Allen to pick you apart and march down the field. Remember, them 3 points right before the end of the first half, you think that mattered, Ravens? Absolutely did, because now you ended up losing by 1 point. So, in my mind, if you're the Ravens, you have to be in big.
Concession sales are gasping for air out here. And if Shedeur finally steps onto that field, everything shifts instantly. Either way, Baltimore wins the preparation battle, and nothing annoys a team more than facing an opponent that actually respects the game enough to prepare the right way. Meanwhile, the Browns are trapped in this deep, unnecessary philosophical debate about whether they should play the talented quarterback they drafted on purpose. Fans are just trying to understand what alternate universe of absurdity they accidentally wandered into. Another bad game, and someone in Cleveland is going to start a petition letting random fans pick the starting quarterback like it's a radio contest giveaway. At this point, nobody's scared anymore. The Browns have hit rock bottom so many times they practically earned a loyalty rewards program. And here's the wild part. Nobody is rooting against Dylan. Dylan is not the villain. The real problem is the Browns refusing to acknowledge the giant, flashing elephant sitting right in the stadium. The only hope left is not holding a clipboard. The only momentum left is chilling behind the bench. The only storyline with any spark left is the one they refuse to explore. And so here we are, waiting for the Browns to finally do what every fan...
Shedeur Sanders. They are unwilling, clearly, to allow Shedeur Sanders to man the offense in a real NFL game. Kevin Stefanski was asked about it, and he said, I'm not concentrating on the current development of Shedeur Sanders. I'm worried about what we're worried about. I'm now convinced that we need to do a deeper dive investigation into why they are so reluctant to give the kid a shot. I don't know that it's going to be any good. I think there's as good a chance that he stinks as that he's decent.
Every analyst, every accountant, every hot dog vendor, and every defensive coordinator in Baltimore already knows is coming. Shedeur is getting on that field. If the Browns are going to fall apart, fans at least want to know if the rookie holding the extinguisher is actually useful or just a nice decoration. And somewhere in Baltimore, Zach Orr is grinning because no matter what Cleveland chooses, he's already ready. He's not losing sleep over who plays, he's locked in. Meanwhile, the Browns are treating this quarterback decision like a kindergarten mystery over missing cookies. Endless debate, zero logic, and the teacher crying in the hallway. The season is slipping away fast. The fans are slipping, the money is slipping, and sooner or later, either Shedeur Sanders steps onto that field or the Browns end up teaching a nationwide masterclass in competitive self-sabotage in front of millions. Everybody's watching, everybody's paying attention, yet somehow the Browns are acting like the whole world suddenly went blind. It would almost be cute.
Drafted Shedeur Sanders. They are unwilling, clearly, to allow Shedeur Sanders to man the offense in a real NFL game. Kevin Stefanski was asked about it, and he said, I'm not concentrating on the current development of Shedeur Sanders. I'm worried about what we're worried about. I'm now convinced that we need to do a deeper dive investigation into why they are so reluctant to give the kid a shot. I don't know that it's going to be any good. I think there's as good a chance that he stinks as that he's...
Like when a toddler hides behind a lamp thinking nobody can see them, except this isn't a toddler. This is a billion-dollar franchise pretending invisibility is a strategy. Instead of giving answers, the Browns keep dropping riddles like they're hosting a treasure hunt. That's how wild things have gotten. This team went from "in football we trust" to solve the quarterback puzzle, to unlock upgrades. And don't think the locker room hasn't noticed. Players may not say it, but they feel it in their bones. The defense can only pretend for so long. Eventually, someone on that field is going to look around and realize they're out here running themselves breathless, while the coaching staff treats the most important position in sports like it's some stubborn science fair project that can't be touched. Meanwhile, Shedeur is standing there, watching, learning, waiting, and every single week the pressure grows, not on him, but on the people holding him back. Because when the only solution is the one being ignored, you don't question the solution, you question the decision makers. Sooner or later, the Browns reach that final fork in the road. Either they throw Shedeur into the fire and see if he melts or gets forged into something real.
Recognize if they made him the number 2 quarterback, then they would be setting him up to fail. Because, as you guys know, the number 2 quarterback gets almost no reps during the week. And that's especially the case if the starter is a rookie. They're trying to get Dylan Gabriel prepared to play in the game. They're trying to have him see every rep and every look he's going to see during the week of practice this week. So the backup has to be a guy that can function.
Or they let the whole season collapse in slow motion right in front of everyone. The crazy part is this: once that collapse starts rolling, there's no stopping it. The fans know it, the players feel it, and the media is already sharpening their microphones like they're about to host a live intervention. If Shedeur doesn't get his shot soon, Cleveland might turn into a full-blown drama festival, and the city won't even pretend to hide it. Every week that passes, the noise grows louder, the questions get sharper, and the excuses get harder to sell. And Kevin Stefanski can act calm all he wants, but that man's smile is starting to look like someone pretending their car isn't making that scary rattling sound. He keeps saying the plan is solid, the direction is clear, and the process is working. But everyone can see the process is shaking like a folding table at a tailgate party. The locker room feels it, the reporters sense it, and the fans are past the point of polite patience. Meanwhile, Shedeur keeps standing there with that calm, locked-in look, like a player who knows his time is coming, even if the coaching staff keeps acting like he's a background extra.
I've never seen him play at the NFL level. I thought his college career was a little over-embellished, but to his credit, he played well in college. I just don't know how well. And I think a lot of the hype was because of his dad, who's regarded as one of the great athletes of all time. But it just doesn't make sense when you acknowledge the fact that NFL coaches and owners would literally trade their moms into sex slavery to win games. It is a win at all cost proposition.
He's not complaining. He's not begging. He's not politicking. He's simply waiting. And that patience is starting to make the whole situation even louder. Because when a player has that much talent, that much confidence, and that much expectation attached to him, the clock starts ticking on the people keeping him on ice. And that's when the real pressure hits. Not the kind you see on game day. The kind that hits behind closed doors. The kind where front office whispers start turning into meetings. The kind where reporters start connecting dots that weren't supposed to touch. The kind where the fan base finally says out loud, okay, enough is enough. Because the truth is simple. If Shedeur steps in and balls out, Stefanski looks like he waited too long. And if Shedeur steps in and struggles, Stefanski looks like he built his whole plan around the wrong guy anyway. That's the trap, that's the tension, and that's exactly why this moment feels like it's seconds away from exploding. And here's the wildest twist. No matter what happens next, somebody in Cleveland is about to look like a genius, and somebody else is about to look like they forgot how football works. That's the risk when a whole season hangs on one decision that everybody can see, but nobody wants to say out loud. The tension is so thick you could spread it on a sandwich, and the whole city is walking around like they're waiting for a fire alarm to go off. The media is circling like hawks, waiting for the smallest crack in Stefanski's voice. The fans are refreshing their phones like they're checking lottery numbers. Even the players keep giving those careful interviews where they say a whole lot without actually saying anything, and that silence is louder than a stadium speaker. Everyone feels the pressure building like a storm nobody can stop. Meanwhile, Shedeur keeps giving that same steady energy, calm, focused, ready, like he knows the script has already been written and he's just waiting for his scene. And the more he stays composed, the more everyone else starts to panic, because talent that strong doesn't sit forever. Confidence that real doesn't blend into the background.
Sanders will start before Christmas.
Shedeur Sanders will get a start for the Browns, because why wouldn't he get a start for the Browns? The Cleveland Browns aren't going to be in playoff contention. So if they're not in playoff contention, why not put Shedeur Sanders in at least for a game or two to see if he could possibly be the future of the Browns, or possibly trade him eventually and get some value.
I love his son. His son should have been the first overall pick. Again, I'll say it. But I don't see how Shedeur's going to get any shot in Cleveland this year unless it's something like you experienced where
At some point, the coaches have to explain why the one guy who could flip the season is standing around holding a helmet like a museum exhibit. And that's when the Browns hit their breaking point. The fans can sense it coming, the analysts can feel it coming, even the other teams can see it from miles away. The Browns are running out of time, running out of excuses, and running out of games where they can pretend everything's fine. Because once the moment hits, once the pressure gets too loud, once the questions get too real, once the frustration hits the boiling point, someone in that building is going to open the door, point to the field, and say, "All right, it's time." And when that happens, Cleveland is going to explode with emotion, fear, excitement, panic, hope, all at once. Whether the city likes it or not, the Shedeur era is creeping closer every second. And once it starts, there's no turning back. While the most anticipated rookie quarterback in Cleveland history spends the whole season holding a Surface tablet like a prop, the moment that decision finally changes will be remembered forever. Everyone will look back and realize the truth. They knew exactly what they refused to do until they had absolutely no choice left anymore. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next one.